What's up, internet? Welcome to Weirdo Reviews. I'm Jonathan Sim, your favorite movie weirdo, and it is time for a review. Avengers Endgame is a superhero film written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely and directed by the Russo brothers. The film is the 22nd installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and it's a direct sequel to Avengers Infinity War, and it takes place where that film left off, with Thanos snapping his fingers and killing half of the world's population. And because of that, the remaining Avengers create this entire plan to undo the events of Thanos' snap. Now, this is going to be a spoiler review of the movie because everyone's seen it at this point. Like, it's made $2.2 billion at the box office at this point. It beat Titanic as the second highest grossing film of all time. So if you haven't seen it, if you have not seen this masterpiece of a movie, then you need to turn this video off right now and you need to go watch it right now because you are about to get spoiled, okay? You ready for this? You ready to get spoiled? If you've already seen the movie, then let's get in depth about Avengers Endgame. So I'm going to spoil the movie with 2 words. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready? Time travel. Time travel. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe this. I can't believe this. This is amazing. Time travel is now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They time traveled back to all of the old movies and they brought back the Infinity Stones. This was genius. It was absolutely genius. I can't believe this. Like, here's the thing. Everybody knows the Russo brothers. Like, everybody knows how much they contributed to Marvel and everything, but nobody really talks about Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. They're the screenwriters of this movie, okay? They wrote the movie. They wrote the story. Why don't any of us know Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely? They're fucking MVPs, I swear to God. So this entire movie is basically just a bunch of fan service, okay? It's a big, gigantic ton of fan service. Not all critics appreciate that. Some critics are like, fan service? Oh, that's terrible. Who likes fan service, huh? That's so stupid. Y'all should make something good, unlike fan service. And I'm like, no, okay? Fan service is amazing. It is always amazing. Well, but honestly though, like, I appreciate fan service, okay? Generally, I appreciate fan service. Because here's the thing. The writers know what fans want most of the time. If the writers are giving fans what we want to see, how is that a bad thing? 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 I mean, what would you want instead? What would you want? To have every single decision in the movie be exactly the opposite of what fans wanted instead of fan service? Is that what y'all would have wanted? I'm fixing my hair. Don't judge me. But I also like how this movie didn't do everything that the fans wanted. They took a few risks, especially with the characters of Thor and Hulk. Now, I love what they did with Hulk, okay? I love what they did with Banner. I love how he was just this mixture between Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and it just combined into one. Like, I love that. Like, I thought that was a great idea. Because the Hulk is generally known to just be this very angry thing that only smashes everything, and Bruce Banner is the exact opposite. So seeing the Hulk with his angry reputation and just having that along with Bruce Banner's personality, that was just so funny. That was hilarious. It worked perfectly for me. I absolutely loved it. I mean, there's a scene in the movie where Scott Lang is eating his taco outside, and then Rocket's ship comes down, and then War Machine comes down, and everything in his taco just blows away. And then Bruce Banner / Hulk shows up, and he just kindly gives Scott some more tacos. That was so funny. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie. I love Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo? You are the best. We don't deserve you as our Bruce Banner. what? I mean, Edward Norton, he left, and then we got you instead. I love you, Mark. And now let's talk about Thor. This one is a little bit more negative among fans. People were upset to see Thor all fat and out of shape and just like, he's pretty much a loser at this point after he cuts off Thanos' head and he's like, I went for the head. I mean, I thought it was funny. Like, it was very funny to see Thor in that shape. It was something that kind of kept the Thor character fresh. I mean, here's the thing. Thor has changed as a character in pretty much every single movie he's in. I mean, watch Thor, then watch Thor Ragnarok. The Thor in Thor Ragnarok is pretty much a stand-up comedian. Like, he is hilarious. And then in Thor, like, you know, he's just like, he's kind of funny, but like, he's the king of Asgard, right? Like, there's not much room for comedy when he's the king of Asgard in Thor. But in Thor Ragnarok, they pulled it off, and he was absolutely hilarious. In Infinity War, he was he had some funny moments, especially with Star-Lord, but overall, like, you know, he was more of a serious character in Infinity War. This movie takes Thor someplace different, and I appreciate that. That what they did with Thor was a risk. Some fans are gonna like it, some won't. I understand both sides. I personally, I like Thor. I like what they did with Thor in this movie. Now let's get into time travel. Let's get in depth about the time travel, because not everyone will appreciate the use of time travel in this movie. Because honestly, time travel, like, you know, it complicates things. Like, let's be honest, it can complicate a lot of things. I mean, if time travel exists now in the MCU, then why can't they go back and stop Iron Man from dying, or Black Widow from dying, or just go into an alternate timeline and pull the Iron Man and Black Widow from there so that they're not dead anymore? Like, well, why can't they do that? But here's the thing. I love time travel movies. Back to the Future, which they actually reference a lot in this movie, it's my favorite movie ever made, okay? I love Back to the Future. Nothing will ever be as good as Back to the Future, okay? Let's just be honest. Back to the Future is a fucking masterpiece. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Avengers Endgame uses time travel, and basically the way they use time travel is completely different from the way they use time travel in Back to the Future. In Back to the Future, you go back, you change something, that could change the future, and that creates a paradox. In this movie, Hulk explains that you can't change the future by changing the past. And he explains it as like, you know, when you go back in time, the past becomes your future, and the present becomes your past. You can't change your own past, you can change the future, which is why you can change the past, but you can't change the present. Y'all feel me? So it's a completely different kind of time travel portrayed in this movie. And it was just so funny how self-aware it was. Like, I think one of the funniest parts in the movie is when Scott Lang is like, so Back to the Future is just a bunch of bullshit? I mean, I love Back to the Future, but I laughed so hard when he said that. It was so funny. And I think the time heist worked really, really well. I think they portrayed time travel very realistically in this movie. Well, realistic as far as superhero movies go. You know, time travel, it's not a real thing, but in terms of entertainment, it worked. It worked a lot. And the whole idea to get all of the Infinity Stones and then just put them in their own Infinity Gauntlet to snap their fingers and bring everyone back, that's genius. Like, that is a great way to not only tribute the previous Marvel films, but also to create a story that actually works. Because basically every single Marvel movie leading up to Endgame has had an Infinity Stone. So it makes sense for them to go back, steal the Infinity Stones from the past, and then use them in the present to bring everyone back. Without actually like really feeling like, oh, we're just gonna try to go back to our old adventures, you know? for a little joyride, see what happens. Like, no, it actually works for the story, and that's something that I really appreciated. Also, Korg. Korg is in the movie. He didn't die. He didn't die. Oh my god. I love Korg. Korg is hilarious. He was by far the best part of Thor Ragnarok. He was so funny. Let me tell you something. I wake up at 6:30 every morning to go to school. Alright? And if Korg was with me, and if I woke up to him saying something like,
"I'm Korg, this is me, we're gonna jump on that spaceship and get out of here. Wanna come?"
I would happily go. Going to school 6:30 in the morning would be the most amazing experience in my life if I had Korg with me. I love Korg. Mark Ruffalo, I love you, but I also love Korg. Now here's the thing. This movie is 3 hours long. 3 hours. Now not everyone has appreciated the 3-hour runtime. Some have said, oh my god, it was 3 hours? Why couldn't they just cut like 20 minutes out of it or something so that I can have more time to jerk? And my answer to that is they had a story that filled up the 3-hour runtime to the point where it didn't feel like 3 hours, at least not to me. I've watched the movie twice, and the second time I watched it, which was actually last night, I watched it, and during the movie, I checked my watch for a second, and then I realized I had watched 2 hours of the movie. I was 2 hours into the movie. I was more than halfway done with the movie, and it didn't even feel like that. It honestly didn't. I thought like I'd just been watching it for like 30 minutes. It only felt like 30 minutes. Honestly, the 3 hours just fly by when you have a story that justifies its runtime. Because sometimes you have a 3-hour movie and there's barely any story in it, and you're actually like, couldn't this scene just be deleted and then nothing about the movie would be different? I mean, that's happened to you guys, right? Well, this movie, I wouldn't take out a single scene. I mean, maybe like I've cut out a few seconds here and there, maybe, but I would not take out one scene from this movie. I absolutely loved everything about this movie. People have also criticized this movie for not having enough action. I mean, here's the thing. Like, the first 2 hours, I'll admit, yeah, they don't have that much action. They have, like, 1 or 2 fights in the first 2 hours. But come on, superhero movies are not just about crazy fight scenes, okay? Infinity War was better as just, like, a straight-up action movie. But here's the thing. Endgame is what made these characters, these superhero characters, feel human. That's something I love about Marvel movies, by the way. I love how these superheroes aren't just their superhero alter ego. Like, it's not like Captain America is always like, oh, I'm Captain America and I believe in justice and the stars and stripes, and I fight bad guys all day, and it's really rewarding for me to serve my country as Captain America. It's not like that. Like, these people, like, they're regular alter egos, these normal people. Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, James Rhodes, they are all normal people. And even though they are technically superheroes, they don't feel that way. Because while there are a lot of funny moments in this movie, there's also a lot of drama in it. There are a lot of character building moments. In fact, that's what the first hour of this movie generally is. It's about the characters and the struggles that they face after Thanos' snap. This movie showed the effects of Thanos' snap on the world and how people have been struggling with it. And that is a decision that I absolutely loved. I loved how they showed how people reacted to it. And because of that, this movie feels real. All of these superhero characters feel real. All of the people, the regular people who aren't superheroes, they also feel real. I'm going to be honest, that scene where Black Widow sacrifices herself for the Soul Stone and she and Hawkeye are fighting to sacrifice themselves in order to save the other, I'm just thinking about it, man. I'm just thinking about it. Now, honestly, let me tell you something. I don't cry during movies, okay? I've never cried during a movie. No movie has ever made me, like, drip tears or anything. This movie, the first and the second time I watched that scene where they're fighting to sacrifice themselves, I was like, I'm a man. And also the end when Spider-Man is saying goodbye to Tony and Tony sacrifices himself and Pepper says goodbye to him and his funeral and everything. I was just like, I'm still a man. I have a penis. So the first hour of this movie is a character drama. The second hour is basically the whole time heist. And the third hour, of this movie, the final hour, after Hulk snaps his fingers and brings everyone back, and they all start coming out through the portals to fight Thanos' army. That's it. That is the pinnacle of superhero cinema. No superhero scene in ever. Nothing that the DCEU can make with the Justice League, absolutely nothing, can ever top that scene where all of the Avengers are coming out of those portals and they're ready to fight Thanos and his army, and Captain America goes,
Avengers!
Assemble.
That scene, man. That fucking scene. I can't even... That was amazing. That was everything I wanted the final hour to be. It was better than I wanted the final hour to be. It was everything that I needed the final battle to be in Avengers Endgame. Because here's the thing. We all watched Infinity War and we were like, oh, Battle of Wakanda. Oh man, that's pretty good. That's really cool, yeah. Great, yeah. Thor arrives, yeah. Amazing. Wonderful. And then before we watched this movie, I'm pretty sure we were all thinking like, oh, this movie, it's going to have this crazy final battle. It's going to be better than the Battle of Wakanda. This movie's final battle blows the Battle of Wakanda out of the water. Okay? I barely even remember the Battle of Wakanda compared to how amazing the final fights in this movie were. Something I loved about the final fight scene was how pretty much every single Avenger, every superhero shows their strength. I mean, even Valkyrie, Falcon, everybody was showing their strength, and everybody was teaming up, doing some crazy shit to beat Thanos' army. In fact, the only thing I'm a little bit disappointed about was Bruce Banner. He didn't really have a big role in that final fight. Like, he's the only one who really wasn't actively involved in fighting Thanos' army. At least we didn't see him. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did fight a lot of Thanos' army, but I feel like there should have been more of him. I wanted to see more of Professor Hulk just smashing everything, just like... Also, you ready for this? You ready for this? Captain America wielded Mjolnir. Oh man, I orgasmed when Captain America lifted up Thor's hammer. Okay, I fucking, because that was set up in Age of Ultron. I mean, when Captain America tried to lift Thor's hammer, you can see that it budged a little. But then he stopped and said, oh, I can't lift it up. But this movie shows Captain America is worthy. He is worthy of wielding Thor's hammer. And just... wow. Also, Iron Man's sacrifice was so sad. It was so sad. I mean, it was just... it hit me. It hit me right here. I mean, Thanos goes, I am inevitable. And then we see Tony Stark, and he's like, and I am Iron Man. I love that. I absolutely loved how he said, "I am Iron Man," which was the final line in the original Iron Man, the first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was the final line in Iron Man 3. But nobody talks about Iron Man 3. It's sad. I mean, Harley from Iron Man 3 was there, the kid. The little kid that follows Tony around in Iron Man 3. He's at Tony's funeral. And nobody likes Iron Man 3. It sucks. Iron Man 3 was absolutely amazing. It's so underrated. Why don't people appreciate it like me? Why don't people like it, man? Anyway, also, that shot when all of the female Avengers, all of the female superheroes are coming together and they're like, we gotta take this motherfucker down. Not everyone likes that. Not everyone likes how, like, you know, that's so feminist. It's all these feminist SJW fucks just trying to shove that female feminist propaganda down my stupid throat. Listen. I'm a guy. I am a guy. I'm a dude. I'm a man. Testosterones. Y chromosomes. I loved that scene. I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. I was giggling when that happened. I was like, because here's the thing. I'm going to address this real quick. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Besides Captain Marvel, every single standalone movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had a male lead. Iron Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America. They're all men. And the only female-led installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was Captain Marvel, which was good. It was good. Not that good. Not, at least in my opinion. Completely my opinion. It was good though. It was good. Just, it wasn't like fucking Iron Man or Captain America the Winter Soldier kind of good, okay? Like, I'm pretty sure you can't disagree with me on that. And besides that, all females are getting are just a few seconds to just team up and fight Thanos. And they get this big group shot, which is just like a few seconds. Why are you complaining? You have so many movies with just men as the lead. Chill the fuck out. Also, let's talk about how Captain Marvel was used in this movie. Now, not everyone likes Captain Marvel. Personally, I like the way they use Captain Marvel in this movie. And I want to see more of her in Captain Marvel 2. I want them to make Captain Marvel 2. And I hope Captain Marvel 2 is a movie that can hopefully win the fans over. Hopefully they make her a little bit more likable in order to appeal to more people. But, you know, I still like Captain Marvel. Something I will say that I missed in the final action sequence of Avengers Endgame is the slow-mo shots that Joss Whedon would use in order to just make a moment last a little bit longer. I wish I could have seen more of that just because, like, they're super cool. But anyways, but that's like my nitpick, okay? That's a little nitpick that I have with this movie, along with Hulk not being in the final battle enough. To wrap this up, Avengers Endgame is the best superhero movie I've ever seen. It is better than any 2019 movie, that's for sure. And it's the best Marvel movie. I'm going to give Avengers Endgame like a 3 or 4 out of 10. Ha! No. I'm going to give Avengers Endgame a 10 out of 10. It's amazing. I couldn't have asked for more. It was absolutely amazing, and I love it. And I can't wait to see what they do next. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more reviews in the future, please subscribe.